Coming up in this episode of the Theme Park News Show, I share more details from D23, including the huge changes coming to Epcot. I also talk about the 2020 editions coming to the Six Flags parks and much more. It's Friday the 30th of August 2019, and this is the Theme Park News Show. I'm Sean Sandbrook and welcome to the Theme Park News Show. Now, as you may have guessed already with the white walls just behind me, no, I'm not at the World of Theme Parks. I'm actually staying in a hotel tonight here in Southampton where I'm recording this video. You might be thinking, that's a bit random. Well, I've just spent 2 days over at Disneyland Paris and those videos are to come on the channel. Along with that, today, whilst I was down this end of the country, I decided to go and visit Clarence Pier and also Funland at Hailing Island as well. So there's vlogs to come from both of those. And then tomorrow, I'm going to Paultons Park to film a construction update from Tornado Springs, the new area opening in 2020. So whilst I came down here, of course, to go to Folkestone, go over to Disneyland Paris and back, I thought whilst I'm down this end, I may as well come and visit a few different parks because there was a couple of new coasters I wanted to ride, film a construction update at Paultons for all of you guys, and yeah, so much more. And that's how I've ended up this Thursday evening here in a hotel in Southampton. But there's been loads and loads of theme park news this week. In fact, one of the biggest weeks for theme park news we've had all year. So I can't wait to talk all about it in News on the Tracks. Now, last week I started to talk about the news from D23, the expo that takes place every couple of years over in Anaheim, California. And yeah, we had some really exciting news from the first day of the expo. However, a few days ago, loads more stuff has been announced for the Disney parks across the world. And there's a lot of Disney news for me to go through right now. So I'm going to talk about it, share it with you guys, and also give you my thoughts and opinions on this news as well. Firstly, starting with the park that is very, very close to my heart. It is Epcot at Walt Disney World. We already shared a few details last week from Epcot, but more has been announced. Goodbye, Future World. So anyone who's been a fan of Epcot or maybe knows a lot about the park if they've visited will know it was split into two areas. Future World, when you first sort of came into the park and those sections, and then World Showcase at the back. However, that is set to change. World Showcase is going to be remaining. However, the rest of Future World is actually going to be split into 3 different areas, all with that world name just in front of it, which is certainly quite interesting. We've got World Discovery, World Celebration, and World Nature that's going to go alongside World Showcase to completely reimagine Epcot. So this is very different, isn't it? I mean, you can see here on the concept art, as I'm talking about this stuff, I'll put some images in for you to see. But yeah, you can see how it's going to be split off there, and it certainly looks very different. It looks a lot more green, doesn't it? More trees and rocks and waterfalls, and yeah, it seems like Epcot really is going to be going through a huge transformation into all of this. Now, along with that, there's going to be some upgrades to Spaceship Earth. Again, an attraction that I absolutely love at Epcot. It's an original from the opening day, and yeah, I was a bit worried when they started to talk about this at the expo. I was watching a live stream actually from Disney Parks, and I was watching it thinking, oh no, what's going to be announced? But luckily, it seems like Spaceship Earth is going to remain very similar. However, it's going to be updated with some new scenes, and there's going to be like a new story and narration behind it as well. You're going to be basically, a light is going to sort of take you round through this journey, and there's going to be a great use of projections in there as well. So I do look forward to seeing that, and of course following the developments. There's no time scale on that. However, we'll be sure to keep you updated here on Theme Park Worldwide. Messing with a classic there though, so hopefully they get it right with Spaceship Earth. So I'm intrigued with all that I've just spoke about. I'm very intrigued to see how it comes to life. Me personally, I like the idea of Epcot being split into them areas. I think Future World was a huge area, and especially for first time visitors, quite hard to navigate. So splitting it off into them individual areas, I think will really help with that one. But yeah, it's very interesting. An announcement now from World Showcase, and that is from the United Kingdom pavilion. That doesn't actually feature an attraction in that pavilion yet, because Mary Poppins has been announced. This was a bit of a surprise one from D23. Mary Poppins has been announced for a new attraction in Epcot in the UK pavilion. That's right, Cherry Tree Lane is going to be coming to the UK pavilion in the form of a new attraction. And I say the words attraction loosely because it doesn't look like this is going to be a new ride, unfortunately. I mean, when they first were talking about it, I thought, oh, it's going to be a ride announced. And all the performers came on and did like a big show to reveal it. But they've just said attraction. Don't get me wrong, it could be a ride, but I don't really know where they'd fit it in space-wise. And from the concept art that we can see, it certainly looks more like it's going to be some sort of interactive, extended meet and greets that's going to be going in here. But yeah, nonetheless, certainly very exciting. Cherry Tree Lane is going to be coming to Epcot. Moving on then to the roller coaster that was announced previously for Epcot, Guardians of the Galaxy. We've now got a name. It's going to be called Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. So I like that name, Rewind, for a good reason, because they've announced it's going to actually feature a backwards launch as part of the ride. So I can imagine that's going to be really good, all being indoors as well with this new attraction. We know it's got them spinning ride vehicles as well. So yeah, it's a prototype ride. It looks fantastic. But yeah, it's going to feature a backwards launch on Cosmic Rewind. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more from that. We've also got some more announcements on the new space restaurant, as we've been calling it, for Epcot as well. Loads from that park. It's really transitioning a lot. So much change coming. But yes, the restaurant's going to be called Space 220, and it will offer views of Earth from 220 miles away. So that's something a bit different. You're actually going to get into like an elevator that's going to sort of transport you to this different world looking down on Earth. So really like the idea of that. But yeah, Space 220. Ratatouille's the ride, which is going to be coming to Epcot as part of the French pavilion, is going to be opening in summer 2020. There was a lot of rumours stating this anyway, but no hard facts, nothing official. They have said at the Expo, Ratatouille will open in summer next year, so excited to see that. I'll be getting back out to Florida, I'm sure, at some point next year to see all of the new additions, and I'll be sure to share them with you guys here on Theme Park Worldwide, as always. Now, Illuminations Reflections of Earth is going to be coming to an end next month. I'm really sad that the show is going to be leaving Epcot. However, we know that Epcot Forever, this celebration of the park, is going to be taking place, and that's going to be starting the day after. It's going to be starting the 1st of October. Of course, Illuminations ends on the 30th of September. And yeah, with this new show, it's going to celebrate all of Epcot with lots and lots of really nice music and compositions all sort of putting this together. We now know a bit more information about the show that's going to replace that one, because this is only a temporary show, Epcot Forever. We know the new show is going to be called Harmonious, and yeah, this is going to debut at some point in 2020. Interesting name for this one, and there's not really much else being released from it, but we've got some more concept art which shows it in the background there. So yeah, looking forward to Harmonious. Me personally quite like the name, so let's see how it all comes together for this new Epcot show launching in 2020. The Play Pavilion is going to open in time for the resort's 50th anniversary celebrations, that being some point in 2021, and that celebration is going to be throughout the 4 parks as well, which would be nice. So the 50th, which obviously was just Magic Kingdom and that whole part of the resort, they're going to be celebrating it across all the parks. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Looking forward to seeing that. The new Star Wars hotel will be called Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. We know there's going to be like a special vehicle that will transport guests from the hotel to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So I'm looking forward to seeing that again at Walt Disney World in Hollywood Studios. Moving on then from that to Disneyland, move over to the other side now of the States. Disneyland, the original of course, and yeah, a new parade is going to be debuting in spring 2020, and it's going to most likely replace Soundsational, a parade again that I enjoyed. The soundtrack was good, all the colours and stuff behind it, but yeah, a new parade is going to be coming in. This is going to be called Magic Happens, so yeah, I look forward to seeing the stuff from this one, and here's a little bit of concept art to look at just there. Straight on then to Hong Kong Disneyland now, that's going to be receiving 2 new rides as part of their new Frozen themed area. And yeah, again, this looks like it's going to be a really great addition. I'm all for these Frozen areas. I think they look great. I'm looking forward to the one coming to Paris, and hopefully we're going to get 2 rides in that. I mean, here you can see from the concept art, there's going to be a new roller coaster, and it looks great. It's Wandering Oakden's Sliding Sleighs. That's going to become a bit of a tongue twister, I think, in the parks, which looks like it's going to be a similar style coaster to the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, so that looks interesting. Along with that, Frozen Ever After, the popular attraction from Epcot at Walt Disney World, will be brought to Hong Kong Disneyland and hopefully Paris as well. I mean, there's no confirmation of that yet, but I'm hoping we get a pretty near clone as to what we're getting at Hong Kong. I think 2 attractions is certainly needed in Walt Disney Studios, and I think it'd be a really welcome addition. Moving on as well from Hong Kong, the transformation of the castle that's going to be complete at some point next year. It's been transformed into the Castle of Magical Dreams. Of course, before it was a clone of the one at the original Disneyland in California. Saw that when we went there in 2017 to Hong Kong, and yeah, you know, it looked nice with the hills behind it, but the castle wasn't great. The fact it was a clone of the original, you know, people want to see different ones in the different parks, myself included. So yeah, I'm quite happy about that change, and yeah, word's progressing. It should be done at some point for next year. So yeah, I really like the sound of it, love the look of it as well, and construction is well underway on transforming it. They're not just sort of demolishing the old castle and building ground up, they're sort of extending onwards. They've took some of the turrets and stuff off and extended upwards, which is certainly very interesting. So I look forward to following more of that. Disneyland Paris now, the part that I've just come back from. A few different announcements this week from there, and that's the new Frozen Festival, which will be taking place from the 11th of January through until May the 3rd. That'll be a new experience for the whole of Disneyland Paris, including the new Frozen experience in Walt Disney Studios. That'll have already opened previous to that. That's going to be opening on November the 17th in the former Art of Animation. Again, some more concept art here. It's going to take you like through a different stage area, like with 2 different shows, so that looks like it would be really nice as well. And again, it's good to see something coming to Disneyland Paris that's going to be open before all this expansion stuff as well. I am concerned about capacity at Disneyland Paris, so I'm glad to see they've put something in to kind of take away from the fact that Rock and Roller Coaster is going to be closing this Sunday, just a few days to go of that. So you know, yeah, it's good to see that they're putting something else in there. In terms of other things at the event, it seems like there's going to actually be a new nighttime spectacular, but not in the parks, in Disney Village on Lake Disney. So obviously you've got a few of the hotels all right over it, you've got all the different restaurants and shops, and the Hughes Lake in the middle. So yeah, there's going to be a new nighttime show coming to there. It'll run on selected nights throughout that Frozen Festival. But again, concept art, it looks great. There was a fountain test done, I think it was like September last year, so nearly a year ago now. There was a fountain test done, and yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing fountains and fireworks, potentially some floats as well, coming onto Lake Disney for this Frozen show. So I'm hoping that's like a little trial run for the new studio lake, really, in coming to Walt Disney Studios Park in a few years for nighttime shows on there. But again, this sounds great. What's really interesting is it's not in the parks, and it's not going to affect Disney Illuminations. That's still going to run as far as we're aware. This will be in addition, and it's going to be free because you don't need a ticket or anything to go to Disney Village. It will be free to watch. So yeah, again, really interesting. Are they trying to drum up some more business, do you think, for the village, get people to the restaurants and shops? Or, you know, is it a trial run, like I say, and it's on a postcard with this one, but I suppose they could also up the prices of them hotels looking out over the show, because you're going to have a firework view or a lake view for the show. So, I don't know, we'll see what happens with that, but I really, really do like the sound of it. The final thing to talk about then, all that news from D23 and other bits of Disney news thrown in there, but Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is now open. It officially opened yesterday, as in Thursday the 29th, and massive crowds. There was people there from like 3 in the morning on the car parks, and I was wondering how many were going to show up for the opening, because look at Disneyland's opening earlier in this year. You know, not loads of people really showed up like in the following weeks from it and stuff. So I was intrigued to see how many were actually going to turn up for this. and a lot of people did. In fact, they've been queuing people out in the backstage areas of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is incredible. Everyone's coming down to see Batuu, and of course, same as Disneyland in California, it's only the one ride that's open at the moment, but you've got all the different other experiences, shops, restaurants in the area, but yeah, they've not actually opened Rise of the Resistance yet. But some people have been in there this week, and look at this. That isn't concept, that is an actual image from Rise of the Resistance, and it looks incredible. All them animatronic stormtroopers, can't wait to experience it at some point, and that's opening later this year, but yeah, it looks incredible, doesn't it? But yeah, in terms of the area itself, me and Charlotte are going to be there. It's Charlotte's first time to Walt Disney World, America, and seeing Star Wars Galaxy's Edge for both of us. We can't wait to step into Batuu and see it all. We're both not massive Star Wars fans, but it's seeing the area and getting in to the whole sort of experience of it that we can't wait for. So stay tuned for all that here on Theme Park Worldwide. Wow, that was a lot of Disney to talk about, wasn't it? Incredible, but let's move on to another big company now in the amusement industry, one that I'm not as fond of, and this is Six Flags. Now, especially after my US trip that we did a couple of months back, you know, it was a great trip, but some of the Six Flags parks certainly let us down. But nonetheless, they've got loads of new attractions going to be opening for 2020. Interesting because Six Flags Magic Mountain are still building their 2019 edition, West Coast Racers. Track was finished a couple of days ago, so hopefully that's going to be opening soon. I've heard a rumour like the middle of September, so fingers crossed for people out there in California that you're going to get on that soon, because I know you're all eagerly awaiting this year's new addition to your park, whereas next year you're not getting anything, sadly. But there's a little overview of everything what's coming to the park, so I'll pick out a couple of things that are big news from all of that in just a moment. But they always do a funny reveal, like the CEO of the company like does this funny video and dresses up and stuff, and it's well worth a watch from Six Flags on their official social media. But yeah, definitely recommend watching it to see all the smaller announcements. But for some of the bigger ones, I'm going to chat about them just here now. So yeah, the big one is from Six Flags Great Adventure. They're going to open the tallest, fastest and longest single rail coaster from RMC. This will only actually be the third single rail coaster to be built. One of them I looked at but didn't get to ride at Fiesta, Texas on the first day of our US road trip. Didn't get to experience it, sadly, because it was shut for maintenance. But hey ho, I've seen it, I've looked at it. Didn't get to touch it, but I have looked at it. But yeah, this is going to be massive. Look at all the concept art for it here. You know, it's going to be called Jersey Devil Coaster. The RMC using the Raptor track on there with 3 inversions. It's going to be 130 foot tall, 3,000 feet of track, and 58 miles an hour top speed. So that's coming to Six Flags Great Adventure. There's new attractions that have been announced for most of the theme parks. A couple that aren't getting anything, but like I say, West Coast Racers should be opening soon, so technically that's like a 2019/2020 attraction, isn't it, really? You know, a lot of people won't go this year to experience it now, and they might wait till next year, you know, so... but yeah, another big announcement, probably the second biggest one for me, is from Six Flags over Texas, and they've got a Mack Power Splash going in. So Pulsar at Wallaby, Belgium. Check out the vlog we put on last week from me and Charlotte's trip if you want to see this ride in action. But yes, they're going to be getting one of those, a Mack Power Splash. Basically, it launches you forwards, backwards and forwards again, and into this massive splash. So yeah, great rides. There's only one at the moment. This will be the second. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this, and that's coming to over Texas. So yeah, that's all for your announcements of Six Flags of the big stuff. Some flat rides, water park expansions, all your usual stuff coming, but that's it from the big announcements from this one. But yeah, it's certainly very exciting, and I look forward to following all the different developments, but mainly that single rail RMC. Final thing that I'm going to speak about then is a little correction, so to speak, from last week's episode. You may remember I was talking about what I thought was a clone of Bluefire at Europa Park coming to Dreamworld over in Australia. Wow, it is a clone. However, it's got some additional track as well. So you imagine that launch on Bluefire and the rest of the layout for the brake run. Exactly the same. But imagine a vertical spike before the launch. So it'll basically launch forwards, backwards, then forwards again, and up into the overbank, then down into the loop and so forth. But yeah, like what I was shown for last week's episode wasn't the full thing. I was sent concept art for the ride, but it didn't show the vertical spike. And then people were like, whoa, you know, there's a big vertical spike. And I was like, what? It's a blue fire clone. But no, here it is, the concept art that I was not shown. So there you go, look at that. So yeah, a bit more exciting now. I mean, you know me, I like blue fire anyway, but and I think the matte launch coasters are a great addition to the parks. But yeah, the fact it's got the vertical spike, brilliant on there. I thought I'm going to have to mention it again this week because, you know, I did put out the wrong information. I did say I think it's a clone. I didn't 100% say that, but, you know, I never do. But yeah, you know, we now know it's not, and it's got this vertical spike as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that down below in the video comments. Tell you what, it's really been a while, hasn't it, since we've had a massive bumper episode of news like that, especially from two big companies such as Disney and Six Flags. But yeah, some brilliant announcements there, loads going on, and 2020 is looking to be quite a busy year now actually for new attractions all across the world, so I'm looking forward to it. But yes, like I said earlier on, I'm going to Portland's Park tomorrow to go and do a construction update on Tornado Springs, so expect that to be online early next week here on Theme Park Worldwide. Because it's already been quite a long episode, we're not going to have any Where Am I this week. I'm going to keep you guys guessing on that one from last week. So check out last week's episode to see that image if you want to take part. And it's just for fun, and I'll reveal it next Friday. But anyway, we're going to move straight in with the final segment of this week's episode. It's your theme park moments. Loads of photos to get through then this week, and also some special mentions as well. Just want to say, if you'd like to send something in for next Friday's show, all you need to do is message it to us on the official Theme Park Worldwide Facebook page and also our Instagram as well. You can send it to either of those, and Charlotte will of course get back to you and we'll put it in next week's episode. Let's start off then with the first photo, which is Izzy and William at Bagatelle just there. Then got George and his dad on the big one, and then we got David on Tidal Wave just there. Moving on, we got Sue at Alton Towers, and then we got Chris on the Dino Splash there with an on-ride photo. Moving on, we got Raymond with an icon on-ride photo from Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and then we got Katie at Thorpe Park. Moving on from that, we got Aaron at Alton Towers. Oh, I'm loving this one. Then we got Jack with Mr. John Wardley just there, the legend himself. Moving on then, also with John Wardley, we've got Oliver. And then moving on from that, we've got Ellis, Roxy and Kyle at Disneyland Paris. Up next, we've got Roxy at Hong Kong Disneyland. And then we've got Tom with a Timber Falls on-ride photo. Moving on, we've got Holly and the family there at Alton Towers. And then we've got Lewis on Soar the Ride. Up next then, we've got Emily, also at Alton Towers. And then we've got Morgan at Gulliver's World just there. Up next, we've got Jenny with a Tidal Wave on-ride photo. And then we've got Dal, Adam and Luke outside Stealth at Thorpe Park. Then got Jessica with a Steel Curtain on-ride photo from Kennywood. And then Amelia with a Smiler on-ride photo. Then got Adam with a big one on-ride photo there. And then we've got Josh, Ryan and Oliver with me and Charlotte. It was lovely to meet you, and I'll say it as I do always, if you see us at the parks, come over and say hello. It's always great to have a chat. Moving on, we've got Gabriel at Europa Park just there. And then we've got Megan, Lily May and Imogen at Folly Farm. Hope you had a wonderful day and went to see the goats. Go Park Worldwide. Moving on then, I'm not too sure if I'm pronouncing this one exactly right, but we've got Eunice and Ian at Pleasure Beach just there. So sorry if I said your name wrong, I'm terrible at pronunciation, as you'll probably know if you've watched the channel for a while. But there you go, thanks for sending that one in. Then got Shona, who had a picture with me and Charlotte. It was great to meet you, and she also did a little special clip with us in the Blackpool Pleasure Beach vlog that is coming online over the weekend, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Moving on then to the next photo, which is Izzy and Ben at Universal Studios Hollywood. Love the sign there, it's great for a picture, isn't it? Then got Jude, who had a photo at Alton Towers, Florence and Amelia with a Nemesis on-ride photo, and then we've got Craig with a 13 on-ride photo there as well. Then got Peyton, who had a picture there with Alex, and then we've got Beth with me and Charlotte's brick on the plaza at Alton Towers. Last few then now, we've got Izzy and Lewis on Soar the Ride. Then they've got Robert and Sophie outside Ghost Rider. And then we've got Dylan and family at Alton Towers. Next up then we've got Chris, Harvey and Christine at Wallaby Holland. And the final photo this week is from Lee at Thorpe Park. Moving on then to the birthdays that we've got this week. We've got David, Matthew, Henry, Donald, Gemma and Jordan. A very happy birthday to all of you from me and Charlotte and everybody else here at Theme Park Worldwide. There you go. That is all for this week's episode here from Not the World of Theme Parks and from a random hotel in Southampton. There you go. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next Friday with another episode. Stay tuned next week for live updates across our social media pages. Links down below in the description. Because I'm going to Energylandia to go and ride the brand new RMC called Zadra. And I'm then going to be going out to Linnanmäki in Finland, straight from Poland to Finland, and going out to go and ride the new ride there. It's called Tiger, and also visit Linnanmäki for the first time. So I can't wait to share it all with you guys. That's all for this week's bumper episode. I'll be back next Friday. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of the videos here on the channel. New vlogs to come every day, as always. And that means it's time to cue those credits. See you all soon.